Welcome, tiny adventurers, to Grounded. Today's the day that all our hard work is finally going to pay off. It's time to return to our original size and complete the game. This episode will spoil the ending. You have been warned. After completing the Undershed Lab and meeting Dr. Tully, you unlock the final quest that requires you to brew the Embiggening Cocktail at the JavaMatic on the north side of the upper yard. The first few steps are pretty straightforward. First, bring Dr. Tully to the JavaMatic. Then, use a Bratburst bomb to open the glass of the coffee pot. Install the embiggening cell you got from Burgle in the coffee pot.
The embiggening cell is in place. We're almost ready to commence brewing.
Then climb up to the top of the JavaMatic and craft the Embiggening Cocktail. The Embiggening Cocktail requires 5 berry leather, 5 koi fish scale, 5 gum nuggets, 5 toenails, and the grilled science that you got from Dr. Tully. Lastly, press the big red button on the machine below. When you start the JavaMatic for the first time, it won't work. The wires powering it are being damaged by orc-controlled ants. Deal with the ants, then use a repair tool to fix all the wires. Now we've finally approached the last phase. Speak to Dr. Tully at the JavaMatic.
We should go over the brewing process.
He basically informs you that a small army is going to attack when you start brewing.
I must warn you, the fusion process for the embiggening cocktail is quite loud. It will continue to draw attention from the director's little army.
To help with that, he unlocks a storage facility underneath the JavaMatic that has a lot of resources you can use to add defenses around the area. The storage room has a ton of materials to help build defenses for this event. You're given a ton of mushroom bricks to build walls, and enough materials to build 3 turrets. Whether they're pebblet or pollen turrets is up to you. There's also a large stash of arrows, healing smoothies, and all sorts of other goodies. This final event lasts for about 12 minutes, and you must protect all 3 wires during that time. While I start building defenses around the wires, let's go over what happens during the event. While you can repair your walls while in combat, you cannot repair the wires after the event starts. You'll want as many walls as possible surrounding the wires to hold off the insects for as long as possible. There's going to be a lot of insects coming your way. The more time they spend attacking walls, the better. You'll also be spending a lot of time sprinting between the wires and attacking the insects. You're going to be attacking and sprinting so much that I highly recommend the buff lungs and cardio fan mutations to keep your stamina up. Also, despite being given a ton of resources for this event, I had to add several additional layers of walls as well as traps in order to complete it. I had a large stash of mushroom bricks ready to go, but if you need it, there are a lot of grass and weeds in the area to build with. In order to build these walls effectively, you need to know where these insects are coming from. 2 of the paths they come from are to the northeast and the northwest, towards where the JavaMatic is. They'll also crawl along the wires from the east and from the southwest, where the large battery is. And the biggest attacks will come from the 2 paths to the south. As you can see, I've heavily blockaded them. Also, when you build your turrets near these locations, remember to test your turrets beforehand to make sure they're in a good position and can aim at everything. You'll also want to be stocked up on ammunition for your turrets. You'll want at least 100 pebblets. Explosive burr traps can also be useful, but they only explode if you hit them with spicy damage first, like from shooting them with spicy arrows. I found them the most useful if they're clustered together like this, but they'll only work well against the smaller insects. After a few hours, this is what I ended up building. Every entrance has at least one wall the enemy has to break through. Most walls are protected with spike traps. They won't kill anything, but a little damage can help. Every wire has walls protecting it from both sides, and the middle wire has multiple layers of walls for extra protection. Since this is the final event to complete the game, remember to save before you start it. It also helps because if you fail, they let you retry, but you have to rebuild everything all over again. With a save ready, you can simply reload and try again until you succeed. This also helps because the kinds of insects that attack are randomized. One attempt can be completely different from another. With all that being said, let's begin.
The Heroes Last Stand begins! Yeah!
There are 8 different orc-controlled insects that will attack the base. It starts with fire worker ants, fire soldier ants, and fireflies. Almost all enemies in this event are weak to fresh damage, so the mint mace is ideal here. Make sure your items are fully upgraded to inflict the most amount of damage against these enemies. If fireflies or any other flying insects are being too annoying to hit, use your turrets to take them out. Also, keep an eye on the 3 health bars at the top. If one of them starts dropping, you need to defend it quickly before it gets overwhelmed.
There's a big bug here! Ready or not, here they come!
After a couple minutes, tougher enemies will begin to spawn. This includes dust mites, ladybirds, and tiger mosquitoes.
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo!
As a tip, loot the corpses of the larger insects. They kind of block your vision when using your turrets.
Big bug here!
If you hear your character or Wendell warning you about a large insect, this could mean that a black ox beetle is coming. Use your pebblet turrets to take them out.
Looks good from here.
At around halfway through, the large insects that attack can now include bombardier beetles.
Ready or not, here they come! There's a big bug here!
Incoming!
If you get to about the 95% mark, you're basically in the clear. At that point, You can just wait for the event to finish. Congratulations! You managed to craft the Embiggening Cocktail.
I think we've done it! Though the situation did seem rather precarious for a moment there.
Now you just have to take this cocktail back to the bathroom scale you found at the beginning of the game.
Excellent! Cell integrity appears nominal.
While there are still other challenges that await, let's wrap it up for today.
And with a flash, that was the end of the tiny adventure of a lifetime. At least that's what the local papers called it. It's hard to believe how much has happened since then. Pete, Max, Willow, and Hoops tried to tell everyone what had happened, but without evidence, no one believed them. No, instead, people heralded Ominent's amazing new invention, a shrinking machine, and everyone learned the name of the one behind it all, Director Dalton Schmechter. It didn't end there. The world found out about me, about the raisoning, and I had to disappear and hide away, which meant all I could do was watch as Schmechter took credit for everything that I had achieved. The kids tried to get back to their normal lives as best they could. Burgle has been keeping an eye on them in my stead, joining their science and robotics club. They made him the mascot, but they didn't tell him that part. I can't help thinking that there was more I could have done with my time in the yard. That said, I have my wife, my family, and I can continue my research, such that it is, trying to make the most of what little time that I have remaining.
Congratulations everyone, we did it. At the very end, you get a report card based off your total completion of the game.
Peter Boggs approved.
To get to 100%, you need to discover, collect, defeat, and unlock everything. If you're used to getting 100% of the achievements for a game, then you'll be pretty familiar with this routine. It even gives you a big hint at the bottom as to what you should look for next. This was only one of 2 possible endings. We still have a bit of work to do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.